if there is any issue, I hope if you are already out of this Python, then yeah, you can check or skip as per your wish. But I'm just trying to mention for everyone who is quite new over here, who do not know Python and all. So just you can quickly check it or do a quick hands-on at your side. Okay, it's very, very simple. I hope, uh, you have already any one of the coding expertise or in your graduation, you have done some coding chapters and all. So it's just nothing but the same thing, but maybe some syntactical differences there. So you can just quickly check it how we can do the things in Python. So Python basics will be helpful over here. So those are the basic data type we are using in Python: integer, float, boolean, string, list, tuple, set, dictionary. Starting from string to dictionary, it's collection of multiple objects or arrays we can say over here. String, list, tuple, set, dictionary. So it will take some time for understanding those last 4 or 5 data structure: list, tuple, set, dictionary, and string. I'll be focusing a bit more over there for last data types. The first ones are very simple, and we also know what is this. Integer means the whole number. Integer data type. Float means there should be some floating point. Decimal point should be there. Boolean data type should be having just like two values, true or false. Either it should be logically one, it's called true, and it can be false. It can, it's a logically off. Okay. On logically on and logical off. It's called Boolean. Some more important concept I'm just going to provide. Yeah, this is PyCharm. PyCharm, we can just open any and Python file we can save in .py extension. We can save it anywhere in our desktop or any other things. Just open the thing from file, and open that particular file. And that file, I have multiple codes over here I have written in multiple Python file. I can open any other one from here as well. Okay. And try to type the codes over here, and which particular file you want to run, just choose it from this drop down. Okay, I'll be running hello world to 3, this one. So hello world to 3.py, just on the drop down select that one, which Python file you are going to run, and then run it and execute it. This is very simple IDE PyCharm, and this is also very helpful for our Python execution. Okay. So let's go ahead with a quick demo. Just let's go ahead with the simple thing that is a print function. Okay. Okay. One or two more important things I'm just going to say. Unlike SQL, before that class we learned SQL. In SQL, we check that the particular language is not case sensitive. Over there, I can, type over this select A is in small e, A is in cap, E in small l, E, C, T, this kind of thing we can type over there. There should not be any issue. But Python is very, very case sensitive. It's totally case sensitive. Suppose a particular function or method is the first letter is the first alphabet is in caps. So I need to mention the same thing. If there is any issue with the uh, alphabets, cases size and all, that should matter over here. So you need to very careful. But if we are using this kind of IDE, this will help us when I'm trying to write any code, just like select. I just put over there. So when I'm just trying to write, you can see there's a red color highlighter. That means there is a wrong thing I'm writing. Or over here, we can also see this kind of error. So the IDE can help us with the issue. Even the IDE can help with, suppose I'm just trying to, put some function, inbuilt function or inbuilt methods on top of a particular string or anything, any data type. Then if we just put a character or just like this, it will help to predict which function I'm trying to put. So this kind of ID can help us over here. Now, what is inbuilt function? The first inbuilt function I'm going to use print. The indentation and the other things we'll be learning later. in Python. As of now, let's start the thing. So print is the inbuilt function in Python. Okay, and we can use this kind of function in any time. Just unlike C, we need to declare some inclusion function has include particular libraries and all. So those thing is not required. Those are inbuilt function. This is already there in a Python interpreter. If I'm just going to use any external function which is not there in our inbuilt libraries of Python, then that needs to be imported. Otherwise, the inbuilt function no need to import for the basic program. Okay. So, okay, what is Python variable? We can declare any variable in any time. No need to put or no need to declare just like data type. In C, I mean C language, I'm telling. Maybe we have, while declaring a variable, I need to put integer, some integer variable or integer variable, yeah, in this way. Okay. Over here, we do not need to put the integer keyword, just directly assign a value to an integer. Okay, suppose I'm declaring a variable called v. V is a variable, I can assign any value to it. V equal 4. Okay, so this v variable has been assigned a value called 4. Now, 4 is an integer. By default, 4 is an integer in nature. So, naturally, the data type of v should be integer. Okay, so this way we can just print v's value. Let me just execute the thing. If we just execute any statement at the below section, the output should be provided. So it's simple output 4. Okay, we can check the data type of v as well. I'm using another function called type, which can help us with the data type.
Sir, integer value is predefined, sir, here.
Yeah, if I'm assigning any value, just like, yeah, its integer value is predefined. So
Okay.
Python has that intelligence. It can determine what is the data type of this value. Okay. Okay. Let me just show you some more example. Okay. I'm just typing this thing. Print type. Print is a function. Type is a function. So type of v, I'm printing that type. I'm enclosing this thing within a bracket. So let's run this. So the the variables data type is integer. Integer. The data type is nothing but a class. Okay. What is class and all? We'll be learning the thing later. Maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. As of now, just think, as Python is an object-oriented program. So over here, each of the data type is nothing but a class. They have defined each of the data type as a class in our inbuilt Python interpreter. Okay. Suppose I'm changing the 4.5. It will quickly change while executing. It will quickly change the data type as float, the same variable. Suppose I'm assigning 4, I'm assigning any other value. Suppose, or let me do one thing. Print v divided by 4 divided by 6. I'm doing in this way. I'm doing over here the same thing. 4 divided by 6. I'm printing first the data type of v. I'm doing a calculation over here and printing the same thing. Let's do this thing. So 4 divided by 6, it's 0.666 in this way. Over here, this is the data type of v. You can see it's integer. So as soon as its data type has been modified, it's returning us float. Okay. So at the runtime, whichever values are getting assigned to a variable, it will quickly change the same. Hope this is understandable. So this is how the float, I mean, this is called floating data type. We're having floating points over here after point. Python have that intelligence. It can quickly assign a float value. Okay, so we can do Boolean. Boolean is having only two value. One is true, another one is called false. But remember, in for Boolean, the first alphabet should be caps. In true, T should be caps, and in false, F should be caps. Okay, and if we are assigning any character value, that is called string. Suppose I'm just going to update all the true in caps, TRUE. Then it should not be detected as Boolean. It can be a string. If I'm going to declare any string, that must be inside a quote. Otherwise, it should be throwing an error, similar as SQL. Okay. So this kind of operation we should not continue if is a string. Okay, one more important thing. If we want any line not to be executed in this interpreter, then we can use a comment. Okay, just like this way. A hash should be there in front of that particular line. So that particular line will not be executed. This is small thing I'm just going to repeat. In SQL also, I'm not sure whether I have told you. So in SQL, if we just want any particular line not to be executed in the editor, in SQL, editor, we can put this kind of command line. Double hyphen should be a single line command. Okay, if we want to multi-line command, just we can put this thing. We can put multiple line. Then we can put this thing. So this thing will not be a executable one. You are putting some comment over there that you have done these changes for this requirement and all. Just for maybe after 1 or 2 years, some new developers join, they can read the comment and understand why this kind of thing is there. So comment line is just, it's useful for this purpose. In Python, we can use command line, this hash. Okay. Or you can just go to line, or you can select multiple line. Just use control slash forward slash. Okay. It will
Just
be
to not execute that command, control slash.
correct. Just see the
Okay.
hash will be there. Okay. Or you can manually put hash. There will be no issue. Anything you can do. In SQL also it was there. Maybe I missed that part. So that is why I told for SQL how we can use do the command line. We can for single line we can use double hyphen. For multi-line we can use this kind of. Suppose I don't want this two line to be executed in SQL, not in Python. Then we can use star, slash star, and at the end star slash. Till how many? Suppose I want 10 line, 20 line not to be executed, then we can put in this way. This is just a concept. Excuse me. Okay. So where was I? Yeah. So as I was mentioning that for Boolean data type, uh, true and false is there. Those are the only value. For true and false, the first alphabet should be always capital. True and suppose false. Okay, if I'm just doing this kind of thing, this is not a Boolean. This is a string. It's a string true. For Boolean true, there should not be any quote and only T should be caps. If there is any change, that should be determined as a string. I can also wrap a quote over there. So that should be a string then. It is not a Boolean data type. Okay. Let me show you quickly. You can see it's a string. The class is string. The class of the variable v is string. Just omit the quote. So you can see the color has also modified. If I'm just going to run it, you can see it's a Boolean. Boolean data type. Boolean data type is only having two value, true and false, logical on and off. In digital, we have learned digital electronics or any other subjects. If you have already gone through, then Boolean on and off. Okay. Sorry, I am having some cold over here. Okay. So this is how the data types I just checked for the first three. It's very simple. I'm going to show some more thing. Okay, F string. Why we required F string? This is another, for print statement. Let me show you some advanced print statement. Suppose V equal 7. In print statement, suppose I want to add, or I just want to print. If I want to print any string value, that should be always wrapped by quotation. So I can run this way. I can type this way. The variable is declared as 7. This kind of print statement I can type. Okay. So it will be helping us. Whatever I have put in the code, it can print it over here. It's nothing but a string. I can declare this thing in another variable as well, and I can print that thing over here. S equal S is a variable. I'm putting S's value over here. I'm printing it over here. Okay, this is also fine. But my question is, if suppose I want this thing to be printed, okay, let's omit this thing. It's not required. I want the variable is declared as, okay. I don't want the hard coded 7 to be present over here. I want the variable to be mentioned inside the code, and during runtime, it will assign the value v over here. If I just put simple v over here, this v will be judged as a string. It will not be judged as this variable v. Let me run it. You can see this v is nothing but a string because we just enclose it within a code. I'm enclosing within a code, that is why it's detected as a string value. It's not a Python variable over here. If I just want to print any Python variable, that must be, that should not be enclosed by a code. I can simply write v. This v is a variable, as I did not put any code over here. Okay. Now my question is, if I want to print in a same print statement, if I want to print both string as well as variable, suppose this one, I want till this part, it should be printed as a string, a hard-coded string, and the last part to be printed, it will be taking value from the upper one and it will be printing it over here. If this is the scenario, what should be there? How we can maintain it? We can use F string. Just put a F at the beginning, F before the quotation, and enclose or wrap the variable within a curly brace. This is a way of showing that this is nothing but a variable. Okay, this v is a variable. And this kind of statement is called f string. Okay, so in a single print execution statement, we can see till this thing it's a string and this v is determined as a variable. It's a Python variable whose value has already been assigned in the previous. Maybe it's an integer, maybe it's another string, maybe it's a float, any kind of variable, whatever I can assign, it can print the thing over here. We can use this kind of thing later. So that is why I'm mentioning this thing. It should be clear for you to understand as well. Okay. So this is how f string can print it.
Sorry, what does this flower bracket inside this bracket? What does it call, sir?
F string.
Okay.
Okay. Just put a
Sir,
comment.
sir, in this we can with you told the inside the bracket the when we putting the single code it printing the inside the code, right? So if you put the double code it does it print like the print statement?
Yeah. So double quote also print will work. Okay, let me quickly show you. Let me comment out this thing. I need to told this thing earlier. I comment out I comment out this one. Let me show you some. Okay, for print statement, double quote will also work. Okay. So hello everyone. I'm just printing this one. This bar is disturbing me. Okay. Okay. So you can see it is also working. But which is your starting thing? Maybe you are using a double quote, then you must need to finish it with a double quote. But if you are using a single quote, Python interpreter will be searching for single quote only. You cannot finish it with a double quote. Okay.
So I have one more question. So
Yeah.
when I'm executing the code, so I have the two print statements, and I want to print the both. And one I
Yeah.
have given the single code, and one I give the double code.
Yeah.
So
No
does it
issue will
print
be
the
there.
both?
Yeah. It will print both of them. Okay. I'm printing the same thing, but why we require, why this kind of thing is there? Let me show you quickly. It's a good question. You are telling this thing, correct?
Yeah.
The first one is having double quote. Let me
Mm-hmm.
put something else. Hello all. Okay. It will be executing fine. So for this print statement, when I started with this double quote, it will be searching for double quote again for end of the string. For this one, I have started with this one. The Python interpreter will be searching for the single quote to be end. Okay. So both will work.
Sir, I wanna see. I don't wanna use a second statement because I can do it in the first statement, the hello world. I can give the space and I can give the single inverted comma, and I can run the code the same thing instead of
So I
using
didn't get
two.
it. So
Instead
you
of putting
want
the
this thing
two,
to be printed inside this
yeah, no, yeah, inside this,
in this way?
yeah.
Yeah, it will also work, but over here, this code is not treated as a code. It should be a part of string that time. So that thing I'm just going to mention now. Suppose I have a apostrophe. I hope we all know what is apostrophe. Suppose I am Soptic. This is apostrophe. Okay. So apostrophe is now it's not a quotation. It's not a quote over here. It's a contents of a string. Okay. So if I am having this kind of apostrophe, I need to enclose the entire thing in a quote. Otherwise, it will be failing. So I wrap everything in a single quote and I'm using an apostrophe as a string character. So there, it will be failing. If I run the statement, that statement will fail. Because Python interpreter got this one, the first inverted comma. So when Python interpreter will receive the second inverted comma, it will get the string closer. Means in print statement, it will print only this I. So why the rest of the parts are still there? So it will be failing for this part. So it's getting the first quotation and last quotation, and the rest of the part will be failing for that. So that is why if I want to print the entire thing as a string element, I need to wrap the thing with a double quote. Okay. So now as I started with double quote, Python interpreter will be searching for another double quote to be ended as the end of the print statement. Okay. So if we have such kind of scenarios, this is, I mean, just for this, we can use this kind of, you can change this kind of quote. Suppose I have another double quote at the middle, then I can use single quote over here. Okay. You can see there is no issue. It's understandable for everyone.
Yes, sir.
There is another thing we can do. Okay, another thing we can do. Let me show you. This is the thing. Okay, we have three double quotes. The middle double quotes, it's a string character. Suppose let's think this one. If this is the scenario, we can use another backslash over here. Backslash will help Python interpreter just not to execute, or it will help the Python interpreter to understand after backslash if we am putting anything that should not be any, that should be simple a string, that should be neglected. Okay, if I'm running this, it will work fine. This double quote should be a string component. Backslash will help not to execute the quote as the end character. It will help this one to be understand by Python interpreter. It's nothing but a character of my string. Okay, so you can also use backslash to help with this kind of situation. So I hope the double quote and single quote confusion is fine now. We can use our own way. Okay, moving to the next thing. What is this? F string we just understand. Okay, let's go ahead with a quick functional part. I mean, some function on top of integer. So you have this kind of function, absolute function, round, trigonometric function. Trigonometric function is an external function. Let me quickly show you. Okay, let me just show you what is absolute and all. Okay, we can impose this kind of function. ABS is absolute function. For function, you can see in the interpreter, it is printing F sign. Okay. Absolute of V. I can also print on top of this, or I can assign a variable on top of this t equal this, and I can print it. Anything we can do. If I'm doing the print statement on top of absolute V, in temporarily it is storing somewhere in absolute V is maybe in some variable, and it is printing the same. Anything we can do over here. Let's do in this manner. So 7 is already absoluted, so it is printing this kind of thing. Suppose I'm just using a -7. Okay, so the absolute function of -7 is 7. That is why now absolute function is working fine. We can determine absolute is nothing but it's a modulus. Okay, the absolute value of the integer. Similarly, we can determine the binary as well. The binary of 7, we can use the binary function bin. Okay, so binary number of 7, what is it? 1, 1, 1. The first is 0b. It should be compulsory for every binary number. Just to understand, it's a binary number. And the after 0b, whatever is there, it's the value of this binary. Okay. Okay. So there are other things as well. Okay, what are the things? Sorry. Round of functions are there. Okay, why round is required? Just to convert any floating point to integer. Not integer. Okay, let me show you what is round first. Just putting some 7.5. Okay. I'm rounding this thing off. So it's just choosing the next immediate integer of 7.5. Let me put 7.4. Let me see whether it's next or the previous. Yes. So when it's 7.4 or 7.1 or 7.2 anything, then it is choosing the float value. Okay. So it's converting a floating point to an integer. So the nearest, it's not, yeah, it's the nearest integer. Okay. If it is 0.5 or upper, then it is choosing the top value, ceiling value. So those kind of things are nothing but some mathematical function, and those are inbuilt function. But the trigonometric function, it's, we all know what is trigonometric. We have sine, cos, tan, this kind of thing. Actually, Python is very, very useful for all kind of engineering. Suppose we are not, IT or software engineer. We are a electronics. Maybe we are electronics engineer. We need to use lots of sine, cos for our antenna calculations and all. Okay, so it can help help us easily on top of that. It's not only for electronics. Lots of things. If we are a mechanical student or anything, we need to do some calculation, maybe in trigonometry or any other things. So it is also help us that calculation. Okay, it is lots of inbuilt functions and all. But the sine function, as I was mentioning, suppose v equal sine 1. Okay, I'm just putting sine 1. 1 is determined as a 1, not, it's not degree, 1 radian. Okay, so it will be throwing an error. Sine or sine. Okay, let's put simply sine. So it's not getting this thing because sine is not a inbuilt functions. It is a, when if we want to use sine, it we need to import a module. It's a math module. Let me import it quickly. Math. Okay, inside math module we are having this kind of math dot sine. Okay, but I need to declare in one, in a bracket. Sorry for that. Then it should be working fine. Sine function is not a inbuilt function in our Python interpreter. For this kind of scenario, we need to know the external module and all. We need to call an external module. When I'm calling it, then I can directly call sine. Now it should be running fine. Okay, but the external module stuffs I'm not going to show you today. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow we'll be showing this thing one by one. Okay. So those are different kind of mathematical function. Let me show you some string function. For string, I can show you some methods as well. So you can understand what is the difference between methods and function. Just give me 1 second. How much cold it is over there in your location? It's also winter, correct?
It's
Yeah,
minus
hi
13.
Naresh. What is the temperature there?
Minus 13.
Minus 13.
Yeah.
Sir, in Chicago -24, sir.
So it's snowfall there, correct?
Yes.
So you are not going outside. Your university or any office you are going.
We are going, sir.
How it's possible? Actually, in your room might be, it can be room heater, and
Yes, sir.
when you are traveling in the transport, then it's also using some room heater inside
Heaters.
transport. I'm believing. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a jackets and heaters in bus and everywhere.
Without car,
Okay.
there is no moving houses. We need car everywhere.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But in Florida it's 65, so it's good weather only.
In Florida, how much?
It's 65.
65 Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah. So- okay. Okay. Great. Great. Anyone from Canada or everyone from USA only? I hope USA only. Okay. I think in Canada it's the winter or the temperature is very less than that of US's.
No, sir. In USA also, it's a very, the north side is very much severe cold, sir.
Okay. Okay, stay safe. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
let's learn the function and methods. Those are inbuilt actually. Inbuilt function and methods available in Python interpreter for string function. Okay, so what are those string function? Let's declare a string. Using a s as a variable for string. Over here, I can put a space. We do not put a space. There should not be any issue. Okay, it's as per our own wish. This will not throw any error for Python. Let's declare. I'm declaring hello. Simply hello. Okay, hello world. This is very important statement. Hello world. Okay, so this is a string. Similarly, I'm assigning a string value to a variable s. Okay, now I'm using len function. Len of s. Actually, len is not only for string. I believe len I can also use on top of a integer. I'll be checking that quickly. Before let's complete this thing. I'm printing on top of that. Otherwise, I cannot get the output. So what I'm doing, I'm imposing a len function on top of this s and doing a print statement on top of this. I'm getting 11. So you can see your count. There is total 11 character inside the string. So length function will help the total character length over here. Okay. Apart from that, we have this kind of thing. Len and we are passing the particular object inside that bracket. A parameter inside the bracket. This is called function. And this kind of thing is called method. We are having a dot, then this thing. Let me show you. Just put s. S is this variable and put a dot over there. Okay. So whatever things are appearing over here, and you can see the left hand side of each of the components are written as aim. Aim is nothing but method. Okay. If we put len, it's a function. F. The difference between function and method is very, very minimal, but we'll be going to emphasize these things when we'll be learning class. Tomorrow we'll be learning function. What is function? Your concept should be function should be clear. After learning class, inside the class we'll be going to declare lots of methods. Then the concept of method should be clear. But as of now, just understand the syntactical things are a bit different for function and method. For function, we just need to declare the function first. Within the bracket, we need to pass the particular object on top of which the function should be operated. But for method, we need to put the object first on top of which we will be doing the things that should be maintained later. Suppose I'm going to introduce this capitalize. A is dot capitalize. I'm going to print on top of this. Okay, let's print. So capitalize, it's doing nothing. It's just making capital for the first alphabet. You can see I gave the input hello world. Everything is in small cases. But here, the first alphabet, it's in capital case. This is the difference.
Sir, the function length and the function count, they both are same.
Their objectives are different, but I'm just trying to say that the whole objective is same, but the syntax are different. They're doing separate things as well. But those are just operating on top of some string over here. We have some integer methods as well, integer functions as well. But what is methods? I mean, why we are using different kind of things we'll be learning later. It's something declaration related changes are there. Functions we need to declare a different manner. There are some limitation on top of function. Method is very strong over there. So we'll be learning this thing later. But as of now, just think on top of hello world I'm working. If I want to declare any methods, the methods declaration will be just like this way. The object first, I can just put this object over here, putting a dot, then whatever method I want to apply on top of this, just pass this thing. Okay. For function, suppose capitalize is a function, then we need to use capitalize must be work on top of this hello world. We need to put this hello word inside these braces. But this is not the case. Okay. I mean, there are lots of methods available over here. Just like upper, find. Okay, let me use upper. In capitalize, it's just modifying the first alphabet. Okay, I can declare this hello world over here, or I can simply put S. Both are same. For method, we need to use a dot, then the method name. Upper will be converting all the cases to upper. I mean, all the alphabet to upper. So that is why hello world. It's in full. Okay. Okay, find. It will find a particular. If we use find, it will take two parameters. It will not only pass this thing. I need to find some word over here. Suppose I want to find W. Okay. W should be wrapped by a quote, single quote. I want to find W inside the string. It will be helping me the output of the position of W. Okay. So string is starting, I mean the position is starting with 0th position, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So W is printing 6. Okay. Before that, let me show you one more thing. Okay. Just before that, suppose I mean for string or any kind of array in Python, the position is starting with 0th position. Okay. And it will continue till the length. We all know the length function. Just before that, I use this. So till the maximum length, it will be continuing. Suppose I want to print S, I want to print particular character. Okay. So suppose I want to, okay, so S0. S0 means nothing but H. I'm going to print this thing. Okay. So this is 0th position. I can split the string and print it over here. Or it is called slicing of the string. I want to print this the first parameter is 0 means 0th position it will be printing. Then I'm putting 5 over here. Starting from 0th position it will be print 5 character. So hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's printing hello. Okay. Starting from 0th position, I can take from 1. That means starting from 1 position, it will be printing. It is having spaces as well. So this way we can slice the string. Okay, there is another parameter I can put over here. This is
Sir, one question, sir.
incremental. Yeah, sorry. Tell me.
Sir, if you are printing anything, so whether it should be like in a single quote or double quote, it won't matter. Is it so? So
No,
then,
no.
like if you are declaring something, then if it's in a single quote or in double quote, is it matter too, or is it both are same?
Yeah, both will be mattering. That thing I mentioned earlier as well. If I just put a single quote over here, S, then S is nothing but a string.
Yep.
Okay. If I remove the quotation, then s is treated as a variable. Okay, so in print as well, it will be matter whether I'm putting a quote or I'm not putting any quote. Suppose I'm doing a V over here, it will throw an error because I haven't declared a V earlier. I didn't put a quotation before and end of V. That means the interpreter will be searching if there is any V has been assigned. V has been assigned in any upper positions or not. It is not able to find. That is why name V is not defined. But if I put a quote over here, it will be a string V. Okay.
Sir, my question is, sir, like while assigning, so like S is equals to like single quote hello world is there, right? If we place the double quote in that, so will it matter while assigning? I'm talking about that.
No, it's the same thing
Yeah,
for print. Whatever I have just checked. Yeah. I can
same.
also put it
Okay,
over.
okay,
The same thing for print. Whatever we have learned in print, the same thing is there
same
as
thing.
well. Yeah. It's the exactly same thing. Okay.
Okay.
It will also do the same way. The same example I have provided, apostrophe and all, the same thing will be working while declaring this thing over here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, where was I? Let me check. Okay, I was slicing the string. Okay. Let me slicing it. Okay, you can see double quote is working. So the apostrophe part, we can use backslash as well. During print statement, we use, not backslash. Yeah, backslash. Backslash, we used backslash just to identify just to help the interpreter not to execute the exact next character as a not executable. It's just a character or string value. We'll do the same over here. Okay. Let's do, we are slicing it before, Mustafa told. So we can just go ahead with the quick slicing part once more time. So we can slice it in this manner. Suppose I want to print or I want some part of the entire string. So I can slice it in this manner. So this is the starting position, colon, number of things I want to print. I can print it over here. This is optional. Okay. This is optional. I can print, I cannot print. If I do this thing, if I print only this first one, it will be just printing that one. If I just put one, it will be printing E. If I'm putting two, it will print the first L. Okay. So if I just after colon, if we put the number, then it will be think how many characters to be printed starting from this position. Okay. Then colon, I'm putting some value, suppose 4 or 1. The last value it's considering while printing the element or while slicing the element, if there is any incremental operator. By default, if I'm not putting anything by default, it should be 1 in nature. Okay, let me run it. So it's starting with one position. That means from E, it's printing this thing. Till WO, it's 8. So that is why it's printing ELLO space WO. So by default, it's taking the next character. If I'm just putting some 2 over here, then you can see the changes. It's the incremental operator over here, it's 2. So after E, it's missing this L because we have incremental operator as 2. It's capturing this L. Okay. Then it's missing this O. It's capturing the spaces. It's missing the W. It's capturing the last O. And our 8 character is finished. That is why it's printed only this thing. So this way we can slice the string. It's not only for string. Any of the array objects, we'll be learning tuple, we'll be learning list. So this way we can slice the array objects in Python. This is the way. we are, putting the colon besides, in between. The first thing is the starting index. The second point is how many character I want to print. The last point is the incremental operator. If we do not put the incremental operator, by default, it should be 1 in nature. And this is the thing. Excuse me. Okay, immutability. This is very, very important concept. I'm just going to mention now. So, what is immutable? Suppose this is a string. Okay, hello world. I just already mentioned this. Hello world. Inside this hello world, suppose I'm going to assign some value. So, the 0th position is age. I'm going to update this age. I'm going to update maybe this age with t. So I'm assigning a t value in the 0th position of the string. This way you can update the thing. I'm going to update some value for age variable 0th position. Okay. So if I'm just going to execute this kind of statement, it will be throwing error because this kind of data type string data type does not support item assignment. So at the runtime, I cannot mutate any kind of string. Okay. So this is very, very important concept. In Python data types, we have this kind of data structure. We have string, list, tuple, set, dictionary. So in between each of the array objects, some of the array objects are mutable in nature. Some of the array objects are not mutable in nature. Okay. So this is the first example of string. String is not mutable. It's immutable in nature. It's so this is very, very important concept I'll be learning. I will be showing list. I think today we do not have time. So tomorrow we'll be learning list. We can see list is mutable in nature. Similarly, tuple is not mutable in nature. So based on our requirement, based on our programming or coding purpose, which is required, we just need to determine first. We need a mutable collection objects, or you need a immutable collection objects. Based on that, we need to choose whether I'll be declaring a list or I'll be declaring a tuple. Okay, so just to mention, string is immutable in nature. Runtime, we cannot assign this kind of value. I'm changing something over here for s, so it's not possible. Okay, I can create a new string. It's starting from t. That is fine. But the existing string which is stored in the variable s, I cannot assign another value inside this same string. Updating the same string. Okay. This thing is clear for everyone. Okay, let's learn
Sure.
this thing last. Yeah, I'll be starting list from tomorrow. Okay, type casting. Yeah, someone is telling something. Sorry. Anyone is telling anything? Okay, let me quickly cover typecast. It will hardly take few minutes. Then we will be closing today's topic. From list onwards, we'll be starting from tomorrow. What is typecast? We can convert the data type. Okay, we can convert the data type. Suppose string to integer. Okay, let me just declare a string. If I just declare, sorry, I'm declaring a 3 over here in this manner. Then 3 is not an integer. As I put a quote over here, so 3 should be determined as a okay, I'm printing s or data type of s. Let's print data type of s as well. Okay. Okay, over here, although it's a 3, but 3 it's not a integer, it's a string because I have declare this thing, putting a quote over here at the first and at the end. So the type of 3, it's a string. Okay. Okay. Now I want to convert this thing in an integer. So I can use a function called int. I'm just doing this thing at the inner s, wrapping with a quote. Just I'm doing type. I'm putting a function int of s, integer version of s. So now you can see the class is now integer. But I believe it's not possible for all the things. Suppose I'm doing a hello. I'm doing this kind of operation now. Let's see what is happening. Yeah, it's showing error because it will not able to convert this hello to integer. So we need to check properly whether this is convertible or not. Okay. So this is very, very important thing. There is some example over here. Let me show you. But float can be converted. It should be using, or integer can be converted to float easily. Okay. Suppose I'm doing a p equal 9. Just I'm printing p. I'm using another print statement, float p. I'm converting this p to float, then I'm printing it. You can see a decimal point should be added automatically. Okay, 9 and the last one is 9.0, 9.0. So this kind of conversion I can use, just put simple whatever string I want to convert, the data type you just need to put and call this thing. Okay, so this way we can convert the thing, but this thing should be convertible. Just like I put hello on, I'm using integer on top of hello, it's returning the error because it's not convertible in integer. There is a good function I want to show in every batch. So suppose I'm doing some exercise over here. The requirement is such a way I'll be inputting some number from my user. I'll be scanning some number and I want to add 5 with it and going to return the same at the output. Okay. Let's do that exercise over here quickly. And I can see a convertible function needs over here to be added. Okay. So how to scan in Python? I can use an input function. Just like if you are aware of C, you have used scanf, printf, scanf. Over here, I can use input. Over here, I can just put enter a number. I'm putting colon and space over here. So user will be inputting a number and I'm storing this input number within a variable, suppose called I. Okay. Now I'll be going to add, suppose I'm going to add 5 with I. So whatever number I'll be getting, I'll be adding 5 with it and I'll be going to print the V, the value of V. Okay. Let me run this code. Enter a number. So I'm going to enter, suppose 5. I'm going to enter 5. Entering 5 plus 5, it should be going to give us 10. But it's throw an error. What is the error? Cannot concatenate. Okay. So what is the issue? This input function, whatever I'll be inputting, by default, the input function will be returning the value to I as a string format. Now just print the data type. I'm just going to print the data type of, type of I. Okay. Suppose 89. Sorry, not over here. 89. So you can see the data type is string. But over here, I'm using some arithmetic. It's addition. So it's throwing the error because it's not able to do this addition. Okay. So here it's a very important concept. I'm scanning the thing over here as a number format, but it's not actually a number. By default, the input functions is returning the value as a string data type to I. So we can do, before doing this kind of addition or before capturing the thing over here, I can impose an integer function which will convert the entire thing to integer. You can do this thing over here, or we can do this thing over here. On top of I can put an integer function. I'm just putting it over here. So as soon as I'm putting some value, by default it should be converting into integer. Let me run this program again. Suppose 10, I'm entering 10. Yeah, now it's fine. So I'm updating this thing in integer format. Now it's able to add this thing. 10 class is integer. So 10 plus 5 is 15. It's giving us the output 15. So this is how the type conversion is useful. Okay, it's data type conversion. Hope it's clear. Okay, I'll not be going to show the rest of the thing. Let's connect tomorrow. We'll be covered list, dictionary, tuple. The rest of the data types will be covering in tomorrow's session. Okay. And what are the other things? Some looping part and all. For loop, while loop, some conditional statement will be also showing this thing in tomorrow's session. Okay, any doubts so far? Any stuck point from anyone? Any issue?
Sir, send us the link, sir, to download that Python software.
Python interpreter, I have provided this thing in last working day. Okay, let me python.org. Python.org. This is how you can download the Python latest interpreter. Just go to download section. This is the latest Python interpreter. You can install it.
Mhm.
And for PyCharm, download, just search it, PyCharm download.
Sir, what is PyCharm, sir? Like apart from
PyCharm
is
is
the
the
directory?
IDE only. IDE where you can code in this way. I mean, this
Okay.
is good for our coding purpose. I can also
Uh,
code simply writing the thing in our CMD command prompt or just like this. You can also do the
So,
coding
so
over
there are
here.
different types of dictionaries, sir, where we can code like just like PyCharm and
So I didn't get you, Mustafa. Can you please come again?
like like you told me that in PyCharm we can code like according to our convenient. So
Correct.
just like PyCharm, what other things do we have?
Okay, I mean other things, other code editor. We have
Yeah.
Visual Studio codes.
Okay. So
In
PyCharm
advanced
is a
level,
suitable.
someone of, I mean, might have using Spider. There are
Mm-hmm.
lots of things are available. PyCharm is
Okay.
the easy one. Jupyter notebooks are there. So in our
Mm-hmm.
advanced level, we can use Jupyter notebooks. Those are combined in. Some of you might be using Anacondas and all. If we are using Anacondas, Anaconda is a package actually. I'm not, saying these terminologies now because we are
Okay.
learning Python. But Anacondas is nothing but, I mean, there are lots of,
Mm-hmm.
inbuilt libraries as well. I mean, the Python interpreter is not the simple interpreter. They are integrating the Python interpreter with lots of things. And a package is there. If you install Anaconda, then the
Mm-hmm.
interpreter is not just simple interpreter. There are lots of, just like mathematical functions, I think no need to import or install over there. Just need to simply import it. Or
Okay.
there are lots of IDs should be by default. They will be giving to you. But as of now, as we are learning, let's go step by step. At the end of this, I mean, we'll be using PyCharm, Jupyter Notebook or any Google Colab kind of things as well. Those notebooks are very, very useful. So we'll be learning those things as well at the maybe when we'll be going to some advanced levels. Okay.
Okay. So, sir, PyCharm, so website, where is that website, sir? The link, PyCharm?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. First one.
Excuse me. Yeah. Just search it PyCharm download. The first link you can go ahead. Okay, I'm just typing this thing. The first one is Python Professional. No need to install it because it's a trial version of 30 days. Can just
Mhm.
scroll it down a bit. Install Python Community Edition. This is fine for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a JetBrains tool. There is another tool. I just forgot the name. IntelliJ. IntelliJ is another ID. Very, very good ID. I hope it's there in my system. Yeah, IntelliJ. But it's very heavy software.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, let's install this thing. We'll be learning Python. Then later we will introduce some more thing.
Okay.
There, the days goes on. Okay, then I hope can close the session now. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank
Let's connect tomorrow.